Most people think maturity arrives the same way birthdays do, automatically, inevitably, just another item on the timeline. You hit a certain age and boom, you're mature. But psychology has a way of humbling all of us because it reveals something uncomfortable. Growing older is guaranteed. Growing wiser is not. There are people in their 40s with the emotional stability of a teenager, and there are teenagers with the inner world of a seasoned monk. Maturity has never been about age. It's about awareness, responsibility, emotional architecture, and the quiet decisions nobody else sees. The strange part? The people with the deepest maturity don't even realize they have it. They don't call themselves wise. They don't brag about their growth. They simply move differently, and their behavior leaves clues. Today, we're diving into the 5 archetypes of true maturity: how they think, how they survive, how they carry themselves through a world full of noise. These archetypes aren't stereotypes. They're psychological patterns, fingerprints of the inner world. Let's start. 1. The observer. Observers are the quiet minds in a loud world, the ones who don't speak first, the ones who don't rush to fill silence, the ones who can sit still without getting uncomfortable. Their gift? Delayed response processing, a psychological trait where the brain doesn't instantly react, it analyzes. Observers don't just see what people say, they see how they say it. They notice the micro-pause before the lie, the forced smile hiding tension, the shift in tone when someone is insecure, the silence someone is afraid to break. They read rooms the way others read text messages. And here's the secret. Observers became observers because life taught them early that people reveal more when you're quiet. Silence is an X-ray. Noise is camouflage. If you find yourself watching people before trusting them, if you read intentions faster than words, if you understand people without explanation, you belong to the observer archetype, the ones who see the world in high resolution. 2. The stoic. People think stoic maturity is about being cold, untouchable, emotionless. But real stoics, they feel everything. They just don't let everything control them. They learned the hard way that reacting to everything drains you, that not every argument deserves your energy, that not every insult deserves your time, that not every emotion deserves a performance. Psychology calls this high response delay, the emotional muscle that lets you choose your reaction instead of being dragged by it. Stoics stay calm in storms not because life has been kind to them, but because they've survived too many storms to be intimidated by new ones. A Stoic doesn't explode, doesn't panic, doesn't rush decisions. Instead, they breathe and respond with intention. If you're the calm one when others are spiraling, if you think before speaking, if people say nothing shakes you, then you carry the Stoic fingerprint. Rare, quiet, powerful. 3. The healer. Healers are not perfect. They're not saints. They're not therapists disguised as regular humans. They're simply people who learned compassion the hard way. Healers listen deeper than most, not to respond, but to understand. They comfort without needing control. They support without expecting repayment. They accept people even when they're messy. Psychology ties this to secure attachment, a form of emotional stability that often comes not from an easy life, but from surviving things that could have ruined their softness, yet didn't. Healers don't push wisdom on people. They don't brag about kindness. They don't post quotes about being a good soul. They just are. If people always come to you when they're lost, if you've been the shoulder for too many tears, if people say your presence feels safe, you carry the healer's maturity. Rare, quiet,
powerful. 4. The strategist. The strategist is calm on the outside and calculating on the inside. Not in a manipulative way, but in a visionary way. Their mind is always simulating outcomes, seeing the future implications of today's choices, understanding long-term consequences when everyone else is focused on the next 10 minutes. Psychology calls this future-oriented processing, a cognitive trait of people who think in systems and timelines, not impulses. Strategists don't rush into relationships. They don't overshare life plans. They don't make decisions out of fear or excitement. They observe, predict, adjust, move. Their discipline is a form of maturity. Their self-control is a form of power. Their patience is a form of intelligence. If you're the planner among your friends, if you make decisions slowly and intentionally, if you prioritize long-term peace over short-term pleasure, you stand firmly in the strategist archetype. 5. The lone wolf. Lone wolves are misunderstood. People think they're antisocial, cold, detached. But in reality, they're simply self-sufficient, emotionally independent, comfortable in their own presence. They discovered early that solitude sharpens your mind and protects your peace. Psychology calls this autonomous individuation, the ability to stay connected with people without depending on them for identity, validation, or stability. Lone wolves don't chase crowds, don't fear silence, don't crumble without company. They recharge alone, build alone, think clearly in moments the world would call empty. If your best ideas come when you're alone, if you crave deep connections, not many, if solitude feels like clarity, you carry the lone wolf's maturity. So what is true maturity? It has nothing to do with age, nothing to do with titles, nothing to do with achievements. Maturity is internal architecture, the shape of your inner world. It's the habits you keep, the emotions you regulate, the boundaries you hold, the patience you practice, the peace you protect. If you recognize yourself in these archetypes, you're not better than others, but you are evolved in a way that most people never reach. And if you didn't recognize yourself, you're not behind. You're building, growing, becoming. Because maturity isn't a destination. It's a pattern you repeat every single day. It's the choice to respond instead of react, to think instead of explode, to observe instead of assume, to heal instead of harm, to plan instead of panic, to walk alone when the path requires solitude. If this message made you think deeper, hit subscribe. We explore the psychology no one talks about. Like the video. It helps more people find messages like this. And join our Discord community if you want to connect with others who think, feel, and grow like you do.